While talking with your friends in the senior parking lot, you notice a car moving to the left at 2 meters per second. You turn away from looking at the car, and 2 seconds later you turn back towards the car and now see it traveling 3 meters per second to the right. That's in the opposite direction. What is the acceleration of the car? All right, to begin with, I'll start with a little picture. So I'll make this my car. Nothing too fancy. It's moving to the left, so I'll call left negative. There we go. Oops. And now, let's see, 2 seconds later, so that's after 2 seconds, the car is moving to the right at 3 meters per second. So to start with, that's going to be my initial velocity to the left, and that's going to be my final velocity to the right. And I'm looking for the acceleration of the car. So here's my picture. Make my car a little bit fancier, perhaps. And now I got to find the acceleration. So I'm going to make my list of givens. All right. Givens. And I'll start with the initial velocity being to the left. I'll call that negative 2 meters per second. And the final velocity is to the right, 3 meters per second. And this whole thing took time of 2 seconds. And I'm looking for the acceleration. So I need some way of relating initial velocity, final velocity, time, and acceleration. And to do that, that's going to be the VOAT equation. So V equals V naught plus AT, VOAT. And I'm looking for the acceleration, so I'll put in my numbers. Let's see, final velocity is 3. Initial velocity is negative, oops, made a mistake here, 3 meters per second equals, initial velocity is negative 2 meters per second plus the acceleration, which I'm looking for, times the time. And the time is 2 seconds. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this without the units just to make it a little bit easier to see what's going on. 3 is equal to negative 2 plus 2 times A. To solve this, I'm going to begin by adding 2 to both sides. So plus 2 over here, plus 2 over there. That's going to be 5 is equal to, those cancel out, equal to 2A. So A is equal to 5 divided by 2. And 5 divided by 2 is equal to 2.5 meters per second squared. So that's the acceleration. But let's just take this question one step farther just to show you some other stuff that we talked about. And that was G's. Acceleration is you can put acceleration in terms of G's, the times gravity. So how many G's is this acceleration A? So I take my number of 2.5 and I divide it by the value for G, which is 9.8. So when I want to find out how many G's, I'll take 2.5 meters per second squared, my answer, and I'll divide it by the value for G, 9.80 meters per second squared. And when I do that, I get a value of 0.255 G's. So that's a really small amount of G's, but that's the acceleration in terms of G's.